Day 139, Blue Letter Bible app. Bible in a year. And we are talking about 2 Samuel 19 through 21, where we're at. Absalom is dead. Samuel is in mourning. Then he gets told, hey, man, go greet everybody because, he was your enemy. He's also his son. David's transgression cost him his son. And it was told Joab, behold, the king weepeth and mourneth for Absalom. And the victory that day was turned into mourning, and all the people heard say that day how the king was grieved for his son. And the people get them by stealth that day into the city, as people being ashamed steal away when they flee in battle. But the king covered his face, and the king cried with a loud voice, O my son Absalom, O Absalom, my son, my son. And Joab came to the house to the king and said, Thou art shamed this day the faces of thy servants, which this day saved thy life and the lives of thy sons, and the lives of thy daughters, and the lives of the wives, and the lives of the concubines. Thou lovest thine enemy and hatest thy friends. For thou hast declared this day that thou regardest neither the prince nor the servants, for his day I preserve, that if Absalom have lived, and we all had died this day, then it had pleased thee well. Don't pull out of it, man. Now therefore go, arise, and speak comfortably unto thy servants, and for I swear by Jehovah, that if thou not go forth, and tarry with one of these this night, and these that will be worse unto thee than the evil that befell thee from thy youth until now. Then the king arose and sat in the gate, and they all told unto all the people, saying, Behold, the king doth sit in the gate. And all the people came before the king, for Israel had fled, every man to his tent. And all the people were at strife throughout all the tribes of Israel, saying, The king has saved us out of the hand of our enemies, and delivered us out of the hand of the Philistines. And now he has fled out of the land for Absalom. And Absalom, whom we anointed over us, is dead in battle. Now therefore, why speak ye not a word to bring the king back? And the king David sent to Zadok and to Abiathar the priest, saying, Speak unto the elders of Judah, saying, Why are ye the last to bring back the king to his house, seeing the speech of all Israel is come to the king, even to his house? Ye are my brethren, and my bones and my flesh, where before ye are the last to bring back the king. And say ye to Amasa, Art thou not the bone of my bone and the bone of my flesh? God do so to me, and more also, if thou not be captain of the host before me continually in the room of Joab. And he bowed the heart of all the men of Judah, even as the heart of one man, so that they sent his word unto the king, Return thou and all thy servants. And the king returned and came to Jordan and to Judah, and came to Gilgal to meet the king, to conduct the king over Jordan. And Shimei, the son of Gera the Benjamite, that's the guy who was cursing him and throwing rocks at him, which was a Burah, hastened and came down with the men of Judah to meet King David. And there were 1,000 men of Benjamin with him, and Ziba, and the servant of the house of Saul, and the 15 sons and the 20 servants with him. And they went over the Jordan before the king, and there went over a ferry boat to carry over the king's household, to do what he thought was good. And Shimei, the son of Gera, fell down before the king as he was come over the Jordan, and said unto the king, Let not the Lord impute my iniquity unto me? Neither do thou remember that which thy servant did perversely, in the day that my lord the king went out to Jerusalem, that the king should take it to his heart. For thy servant doth know that I have sinned. Therefore, behold, I am come to first this day of all the house of Joseph to go down to meet my lord the king. And Abiashai the son of Zeruiah answered and said, Shall not Shimei be put to death because he cursed the Lord's anointed? Abiashai said, called the guy a dog. Shouldn't I just take the head, just take this dog's head off? That's what he said in the other chapter. And David said, what have I to do with these sons of Zeruiah, that ye should this day be adversaries unto me? Shall there be any man put to death this day in Israel? He's seen enough death. For do I not know that I am the king over Israel? Therefore the king said unto Shimei, thou shalt not die. And the king sware unto him. He knew that him being scolded by Shimei was of God. It was part of his punishment. Metul. Good morning. It might be good afternoon where you're at. Who knows? It might be good night. Where are you from? Okay. Yeah, so let's see. He understands. He understands that he has to pay the price of his transgression. And Mesibeth, the son of Saul, came down to meet the king and had neither dressed his feet nor trimmed his beard, nor washed his clothes from the day the king departed until the day he came in peace. And it came to pass that when he was come to Jerusalem to meet the king, that the king said unto him, wherefore thou wentest not with me, Mesibeth? And he answered, my lord, O king, my servant deceived me. My servant deceived me, for my servant will saddle me an ass that I may ride upon and go to the king, because thy servant is lame. And he has slandered thy servant unto Lord the king. But the Lord the king is an angel of God to do what is good in thy eyes. For all my father's house were but dead men before my lord the king. Yet didst thou set thy servant among them, that did eat at thy own table. What right therefore have I yet to cry any more unto the king? So this is that kid he's taking care of. It's Jonathan's kid. And he's taking care of him, as he said he would. And the king said unto him, why speakest thou any more of these matters? I have said, thou and Zibiah divide the land. And Mesibeth said unto the king, yea, let him take forasmuch my lord is, for the king is come again in peace unto his own house. And it came, and Barzillai the Gittite came down from Rogelim and went over the Jordan to the king and to conduct him over the Jordan. Now Barzillai was a very aged man, and even 80 years old, and he had provided the king with a substance while he lay in Mahanaim, for he was a very great man. And the king said unto Barzillai, come over with me, and I will feed thee with me in Jerusalem. And Barzillai said unto the king, how long have I to live, that I should go up with the king into Jerusalem? I am this day 80 years old, and I can discern between the good and evil. Can thy servant taste what I eat or what I drink? Can I hear any more the voice of the singing men and the singing women? Therefore, when should thy servant yet be a burden unto my lord the king? And thy servant will go a little way over the Jordan with the king. And why should the king be recompensed me with this such reward? Let thy servant pray, and turn back that I might die in my own city, and be buried in the grave of my father and my mother. Behold, my servant is a cherub. Let him go over with my lord the king to do him what shall seem good to thee. And the king answered, and cherub shall go over with me, and I will do for him which he shall seem good unto thee. And whatsoever thou shalt require of me, I will do it for thee. So because he took care of the king and his family, the king's remembering his family and going to take care of them. We're going to hear about that when Jehovah blesses the Rechabites in Jeremiah coming up. He also, when Phineas slayed those wicked people and saved everybody from the plagues, God said Phineas and his family is good forever. Then the king went on to Gilgal and to Chermim and went on with him, and all the people of Judah conducted the king, and also half the people of Israel. And behold, all the men of Israel came unto the king and said unto the king, why have our brethren, the men of Judah, stolen away thee, and brought the king and his household of all David's men with him over the Jordan? And all the men of Judah answered and said, and the men of Israel, because the king is near kin to us. Therefore, then ye be angry for this matter, for we have eaten all of the king's costs, or hath he given us any gift? And the men of Israel answered and the men of Judah, and said, We have 10 parts in the king, and we also more right in David than ye. Why then did ye despise us, that our advice should not be first, and hath bring back our king? And the words of the men of Judah were fiercer than the words of the men of Israel. And there it happened to be that the man of Baal, whose name was Sheba, the son of Birchai, a Benjamite, a man of Baal. And he blew the trumpet and said, We have no part in David, neither have we inheritance in the son of Jesse. Every man to his tents, O Israel. So every man of Israel went up from after David and followed Sheba, the son of Birchai. But the men of Judah clave unto their king from the Jordan, even to Jerusalem. And so they are like this man of Baal. Of course, a man of Baal, a man of Baal, is going to reject the anointed. They know not what they worship. David came to his house in Jerusalem, and the kings took 10 women as concubines, whom he left to keep the house, and put them inward, and fed them, and went not into them. So they were shut up unto the day unto their deaths, and living in the widowhood. Then the king of Amasa, assemble me the men of Judah within 3 days, and be thou present. So Amasa went to assemble the men of Judah, and he tarried longer than the set time which hath appointed him. And David said to Abishi, Now shall Sheba the son of Birchai do us more harm than did Absalom? Take thou Lord's servant, and pursue after him, lest he be fenced in the cities and escape us. And there they went out after Joab's men, and the Cherethites, and the Pelethites, and all the mighty men, and they went out of Jerusalem to pursue after Sheba the sons of Birchai, which were at the great stone, which is in Gibeon. Amasa went before them in Joab's garment, and he put on, and he that had put on was girded unto him, and upon a girdle with a sword fastened upon his loins and the sheath thereof. And he went forth, and it fell out. And Joab said to Amasa, Art thou in health, my brother? And Joab took Amasa by the beard with his right hand to kiss him. And Amasa took no heed to the sword that was in Joab's hand. So he smote him there in the 5th rib, and shed out the bowels to the ground, and struck him not again, and he died. So Joab and Abishai his brother pursued after Sheba the son of Birchai. And one of Joab's men stood by him and said, He that favoreth Joab, and he that is for David, let them go after Joab. And Amasa wallowed in blood in the midst of the highway. And when the man saw all that the people stood still, and removed Amasa out of the highway into the field, and cast a cloth upon him, when he saw that everyone came to him, stood still. When he was removed out of the highway, all the people went after Joab to pursue after Sheba and the son of Birchai. And he was through all the tribes of Israel unto Abel, and to Bethel, and Beth-Maachah, and all the Berites. And they were gathered together, and went also after him. And they came and besieged him in Abel and Beth-Maachah. And they set up a bank against the city, and stood in the trench. And all the people that were with Joab battered the wall to throw it down. And then cried a wise woman out of the city, Hear ye say, I pray unto you, Joab, come near hither, that I may speak with thee. And when he was come near her, the woman said, Art thou Joab? And he answered, I am he. Then she said unto him, Hear the words of thy handmaid. And he answered, I do hear. Then she spake, saying, They won't speak in old times, saying, They shall surely ask counsel at Abel, so they shall enter the matter. I am one of them that are peaceable and faithful in Israel. Thou seekest to destroy the city, a mother in Israel. Wilt thou swallow up the inheritance of the Lord? And Joab answered and said, Far be it from me that I should swallow up or destroy. The matter is not so. But a man of Mount Ephraim, Sheba the son of Birchai by the name, hath lifted up his hands against the king, even against David. Deliver him only, and I will depart from the city. And the woman said unto Joab, Behold, his head shall be thrown over the wall. And the woman went unto all the people in her wisdom, and they cut off the head of the Sheba, the son of Birchai, and cast it out to Joab, and he blew a trumpet, and they retired from the city, every man to his tent. So, this woman was not wicked like all the rest of these Benjamites, sons of Baal. No, she was one of the few. She was a remnant. Wow. Now Joab was over the host of Israel, and Benaiah the son of Jehoiada was over the Cherethites and over the Petherites, and Ordoram was over the tribute, and Jehoshaphat the son of Eliud was a recorder, and Sheva was the scribe, and Zadok and Abiathar were the priests, the Zadok priests. And Ira also the Jerite was the chief ruler about the David. I think the Zadok priests were the ones that hid the scrolls in the cave. Can't believe I can't remember what they are. Then there was a famine in the days of David 3 years. Year after year, David inquired of Jehovah and said, and the Lord answered, is it for Saul and for his bloody house? Because he slew the Gibeonites, and the king called the Gibeonites and said unto them, now Gibeonites were not of the children of Israel, but out of the remnant of the Amorites. And the children of Israel had sworn unto them, and Saul sought to slay them with his zeal, and the children of Israel and Judah. Therefore David said unto the Gibeonites, what shall I do for you? Wherewith shall I make the atonement that ye may bless the inheritance of Jehovah? And the Gibeonites said unto him, we shall have no silver, no gold of Saul, nor of his house. Neither for us shalt thou kill any man in Israel. And he said, what shall ye say? What shall ye do for you? And they answered the king, the man that had consumed us and devised against us, so that we should be destroyed from the remaining of any of the coast of Israel. Let 7 of his men's sons be delivered unto us, and we will hang them we will hang them up Jehovah in Gibeath of Saul, whom Gibeath of Saul, whom Jehovah did choose. And the king said, I will give them. But the king spared Mephibosheth and the son of Jonathan and the son of Saul, because the Lord's oath was delivered between them, between David and Jonathan, the son of Saul. But the king took 2 sons of Rizpah and the daughter of Aiah, whom she bare unto Saul, and Amri and Mizpah, and the 5 sons of Michal, and the daughter of Saul, whom brought up for Adriel, the son of Barzillai, the Metherite. And he delivered them into the hands of the Gibeonites, and they all hanged them in the hill before Jehovah, that they fell 7 altogether, and were put to death in the days of the harvest, in the first days in the beginning of the barley harvest. And Rizpah, the daughter of Ai, took a sackcloth and spread it upon the rock from the beginning of the harvest until the water dropped on them out of heaven, and suffered neither the birds of the air to rest on them by day, nor the beasts of the field by night. And it was told David that Rizpah, the daughter of Ai, the concubine of Saul, had done. And David went and took the bones of Saul and the bones of Jonathan his son from the men of Jabesh Gilead, and that had stolen them from the street of Bethshan, where the Philistines had hanged them. And when the Philistines had slain Saul in Gilboa, and brought him up hence the bones of Saul and the bones of Jonathan his son, and they gathered the bones of them that were hanged. And the bones of Saul and Jonathan were buried, and they were in the country of Benjamin, in Zelah, in the sepulchre of Kish his father. And they performed all the king had commanded. And after that God was entreated for the land. Moreover, the Philistines had met yet war again with Israel. And David went down, and with his servants, and with him, and fought against the Philistines. And David waxed faint. And Benob was the sons of the giants. He weighed those spears, weighed 300 shekels of brass in weight, and being girded with the new sword, David thought to have slain David. But Abishai, the son of Zeruiah, succored him and smote the Philistine and killed him. And the men of David swear unto him, saying, Thou shalt go no more out with us to battle. Thou shalt quench not the light of Israel. And it came to pass after this that there was again a battle with the Philistines at Gob and Shebashah and the Hushite. And Hushite slew Saph, which was one of the sons of the giant. And there again battled Gob with the Philistines. And there was Ethan, the son of Jer-ogram, a Bethlehemite, slew brother of Goliath the Gittite, and the staff whose spear was like a weaver's beam. And there was yet a battle in Gath, and every man of great stature that had on every hand 6 fingers, and every foot 6 toes, and 24 in number was also born up to the giant. And he defiled Israel, and Jonathan the son of Shimei, and the brother of David, slew him. These were born to the giant in Gath and fell by the hand of David and by the hand of his servants. So, they're killing giants. Pretty wild, pretty wild. Wow. Okay. So that was 2 Samuel 19 through 21. Day 139 of the Blue Letter Bible app. If we stick with it, we'll get all the way through this book. And Jehovah be willing, we will have more understanding. Praise Yah.